What a beautifully lit house. Now get out of the dark, get out of the cold, let's go inside, come on. Welcome back to this week's video, and as you guys can see, I'm outside, which means one of two things. Either we're doing a project update or we're talking about the exterior. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, we're doing a project update. It's gonna be a little bit about both. So I'm gonna talk about the exterior, the interior, all the things that have gone on in this project. It's a beautiful, bright day. You guys can hear the birds chirping. You guys hear that? Beautiful. But before we get into it, I'm gonna show you guys how amazing this house looks lit up at night. So let's jump to that, and then we'll come back down to daylight and talk about the updates in the house. So before we jump into all the things going on inside and why there's all this blue tape around me, I'm gonna mention again, sorry Eddie couldn't make it in this week. He is still suffering from his slip disc. I don't think I let you guys know exactly what was going on with him, but we found out it was a slip disc. He just needs to rest, he needs to lay down, he needs to stay still and kind of open up his back and then do a little bit of physical therapy before he gets on his feet. It could take a couple weeks, could take a couple months. He's gonna focus on that because that's way more important than building this beautiful house. And plus I could do it myself, I don't really need Eddie. But let's jump into it. See all this blue tape around me? All this blue tape is the painters that came back and they're basically doing touch-up work. They're looking at every single crevice and they're marking everything, they're patching it, they're sanding it, and they're repainting it. So they're doing that all over the entire house. And this way you guys can also see that they've taped up all the doors, and on these inner seams what they're actually doing is they're adding one of my favorite things, caulking. It's a beautiful product, caulking. And they use it here, feel all the joints to make sure that if there's any movement in this house, these joints don't crack open. So the only things really left in the house is these finishing touches, and then we're gonna bring a construction cleaning crew in and call it a day. So behind me, you guys can see one of two air registers. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because this week we also passed our HERS testing. That has something to do with QI. I don't know what QI stands for. I think it's Quality Installation Inspection, but I could be completely wrong. And this is completed by HERS testers, which I think is heat energy rating specifications or something like that. Title 24, Title 22. I don't know, all this jumbo mumbo. But basically they did the first level of inspections when we had all of our insulation in and before we drywalled. They checked all that, they gave us the green light there. And then once you're completely done with the project and have everything hooked up, they come back and they close all the vents and all the registers, and they hook up a machine to one of the registers, as you guys can see, and they run this test, and it basically tells them if there's any leaks in the AC system and if there's any energy loss thingy mabobbers. I don't know. But they checked it, we passed, that's all I know. That was also completed this week. Everything else that was kind of done this week is on the outside of the house, so let's jump on the outside and see what we did there. So outside has been a pain in my behind for multiple reasons. We've been working on this week is getting all the grading done. As you guys saw, we got all the trees in, trying to get the irrigation for the trees. I'll talk more about the irrigation in the front because that's kind of what ended up happening. And I'll show you guys a hilarious voice message that I got. It blows my mind. But the job's getting done, so I'm happy about that. Behind me, you guys can see they've done all the entire scratch coat, brown coat, and everything like that. All that's left is the smooth stucco. Right now they're framing out the countertops for the barbecue, which is going to be a polished concrete. Polished or colored? I don't remember, but it's one of those two. So we're really excited for that. It's kind of coming together. As you guys can see also on top, we left that barbed wire looking metal gate thing. The reason we did that is because we're gonna clean that up and we're gonna put a metal roof on top of it to give a little bit of shade over the barbecue. I think we talked a little bit about that in the hedging video. So if you guys want to see what we did with the hedging, and if you haven't seen that video already, go ahead and click the link right up here and you guys can watch that video. I think that kind of wraps it up for the outside. The only things that are kind of left for us is the seal plates for the pocket doors that we have to do. And again, that's an extra step that we're doing to have a very clean outline there. That should be installed this Saturday. We should have all of our forms set by this Saturday, so we have to figure out the layout and everything like that. And once we do that, all we gotta do is get the pour in and then get the guys out here to finish up the pool after we clean up all this junk that hopefully is not in the footage. Do not show them this. I do not want them to see all the junk in the pool. So I'm outside by where our irrigation is set up, and we faced a lot of problems before we got to this point, but Mr. Nacho, who was our sprinkler guy, ended up pulling through for us. But before we get into all that, I got to tell you guys our story of this irrigation system because it has been a long headache. We finalized on having two valves for the sprinklers, one for the front and one for the back because we don't have a lot of grass, and two valves for the drip system, basically one for either side of the house. So initially we had found someone to do our irrigation system. Actually driving by Eddie's house, we saw someone doing irrigation. We asked for their info, they came out, They gave us a quote, we accepted. They were supposed to start on X date. I don't remember what the date was. We show up that morning and I let them know, hey, I just need the name of your business, the entity that you work under, so I'll write you guys a check when you guys come in. I'll do half once you guys are done with all the rough, and I'll do the other half once you're completed with all the final stuff. Very simple payment plan. They show up the day of knowing that I need these things done immediately, and he goes, write me a check now or I'm not starting. Well, then I guess you're not starting, buddy, because we don't play like that. I've been screwed way too many times because of that, and unfortunately, I've learned my lesson the hard way. No deposits, especially on small jobs. All you needed to do was go buy a couple $100s worth of PVC pipe, and you don't want to front that. That basically tells me that I shouldn't be working with you. So they walked off the job site, and then we were in a hurry to find our next sub to do this. So a friend of ours who's an investor called him up and he said, hey, you know, I have this guy. I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's up to. I'm gonna need him in about a week. But if you wanna use him for your job, you can use him this week. So we called him. His name was Mr. Nacho. Mr. Nacho showed up, broke it down for me and told me, hey, you only need 4 valves. I can get this in. I'll come in on Tuesday. I'm gonna be in Mexico for the weekend and I will be there Tuesday morning and I'll have everything installed by the afternoon. And I said, okay, perfect, that works great. I texted him Monday night at 8 p.m. asking him, hey, are you showing up tomorrow morning? I'm just confirming, and he told me yes. But you know what happened Monday morning while I was sleeping? This happened. Listen to this voice message. Please listen to this. Tell me what you take away from this.
Hello, my friend. This is Nacho. I'm sorry. I'm in Mexico. I'm gonna go back to USA right now. Yesterday I went to the doctor. I don't feel good. So anyways, I'm gonna go right now to USA. I'll call you when I be there. I'm gonna be a little bit late, but I'm gonna be there. All right. Thank you. Any questions? Call me back.
So in case you're wondering, Nacho is fine, everything is okay. He actually ended up not calling me back after me blowing up his phone and texting him, and he just showed up here at 6 p.m. and we saw him on the security cameras that he's installing sprinklers. Eddie called me, he's like, hey, someone's breaking into our house. I was like, no, he's installing sprinklers. So I called him, I said, Nacho, what are you doing? He's like, I'm almost done. I said, okay, that's not... Nacho, that's not how we're supposed to work. You're supposed to come, you're supposed to answer your phone. Whatever, we got it done, we got most of it done. He's missing a couple of things here. He's gonna come back tomorrow morning and finish that. So we're happy to get that done. But also the reason we needed this trenching is for this spool of wire that I'm sitting on top of. This is our low voltage wiring. We're gonna run this for all the landscaping lighting. To be honest with you, this is a great thing to do. It's very cheap. This entire spool of 500 feet was like $120. And this will cover all areas that you may possibly want low voltage lighting in. And it becomes hardwired, so you don't have to rely on solar and all those other things. That being said, that wraps up the front yard. Let's jump to the sidewalk and the apron and why we weren't able to finish that, unfortunately. So I'm standing where our sidewalk should be, but obviously we demoed all of this and got rid of it. Now we're gonna do a whole video on the sidewalk, the apron, dealing with the city, the engineering department, how far into the street we had to go and all that. But I just wanna give you guys a couple of updates. Now this was supposed to be poured today and already drying. What ended up happening is, unfortunately, we missed our second inspection. So our first inspection was a pre-inspection. They told us what to demo. We demo everything and then we have to compact the dirt, and they come back for a second inspection. When they came back for a second inspection, they looked at everything and said, fine. They had us cut back a little bit more here, a little bit more there. Did all that, but we were not ready for our third inspection, which was for compacting the gravel base. Unfortunately, something happened with our sub and he wasn't able to make it on one of the days, and that delayed us, and they didn't have enough time to complete everything for the inspection, and engineering inspections are 5 days out, so we had to extend another 5 days. But it's fine because we're working on other landscaping, hardscaping things on the project anyways. Just like over here, you guys can see we built a little planter here that's gonna be smooth stucco. I know a lot of you will ask, why did we demo the entire sidewalk? We had to demo like 70% of this, and the other 30% was really cracked up and broken anyways. So we just opted to do all of it. It's an added expense that we probably won't get any money back on, but it makes the house look much more appealing and nicer. And at the end of the day, we want to put out a great product. Now we're gonna go down the side of the house, but to get to the side of the house, you have to pass our beautiful metal gate. We don't have door locks on here yet because we ordered them 2 weeks out, because we decided to go with M-Tech, the nice door handles, because we're bougie like that. As you guys can see, this is an iron gate. It's 1x3 slits, modern design, very simple. They came in, they dug their holes, they dug it down, they put metal rods down. Once they pour our concrete, it'll secure it into place. This is also secured with bolts and nuts to the wall and to the brick wall. They damaged my brick wall a little bit, but they're gonna fix that. But it made me very angry that they damaged that. These gates are great. These are required for the pool. They have to be on hinges, so they auto close, and they have to open outside. Oh, price update. We can give you guys a price update. These gates cost us $3,000, so let's add that to our running total down here. Funny thing is, Today we also got a big draw from our bank, which gives us more money to play with, which means I can spend more money on things that are unnecessary but I like. From here, let's jump to the gas because we also got our gas hooked up this week. So I'm on the side yard where we got the city to install the meter. Finally, in order to install the meter, they need a couple of things. They need your stove installed, they need your heater installed, well, your water heater and your house heater, so 3 things. Once those 3 things are installed, then you know all your other gas requiring appliances. They use that, they run some butane calculation thingamabobber, and they decide what size meter they want for you. In our case, we have a very big meter. From this meter, it's connected to 2 lines. One is our gas line for the pool and one is the gas line for the house. That being said, that kind of solves this problem. But another problem we had was getting our electrical pass and our electrical meter issued. Now, apparently they don't do that until you get the C of O, which is very, very annoying. So we had to Mickey Mouse wire the whole house or throw it on a generator or something like that to get electricity. But as you guys saw earlier in the video, we have great electricity, great lighting, beautiful home. That wraps it up for this week's video. Those are all the updates that I have for you guys. Unfortunately, we again do not have a solid thing completed to show you guys, but we will next week. Hopefully, I'm making a promise. Eddie's not here to say I can't keep my promises, so I'm willing to do that. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe bell, hit that notification bell, comment down below. If you guys have any questions about anything, let us know down there. We're gonna host a big open house for all of our viewers and everyone else. So if you guys are interested in seeing this house once it's complete, shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll make sure to cut you guys in on the info once we host that. We'll see you guys next week.